Welcome to EduCasts, home of EduCasters. If situated cognition is the theory, then cognitive apprenticeship and project-based learning are its most powerful and widely adopted practices. Implementing SCT requires tearing up the traditional script and giving education a dramatic facelift across three major areas: curriculum, pedagogy, and assessment. 1. Curriculum design. From content outline to contextual problem. The SCT curriculum shifts the focus from mastering a prescribed list of content standards to mastering a set of authentic, real-world practices. The curriculum becomes organized around big, messy problems rather than neat, isolated topics. Project-based learning, PBL, and case studies. These are the bread and butter of situated instruction. Instead of learning about environmental science by reading chapters, students are tasked with solving a local water pollution problem, requiring them to measure, analyze, propose solutions, and communicate findings to city council members. They don't just use chemistry, they do chemistry for a genuine purpose. A power of simulation. In subjects where real-world risk is too high, e.g. medicine, aviation, high-fidelity simulations create a situated context. Future nurses practice complex procedures on medical mannequins. Aspiring mechanics troubleshoot virtual engines. The environment is safe, but the activities and the cognitive demands are authentic. Interdisciplinarity. Real-world problems don't respect the artificial boundaries between school subjects. SCT encourages breaking down the walls between history, English, and social studies, or between math and science, to tackle integrated problems that require tools from multiple domains. 2. Pedagogy. The teacher as master practitioner and coach. The shift in curriculum demands an even bigger shift in the teacher's role. The teacher is no longer the sage on the stage, a dispenser of facts, but the master practitioner and coach within the community of practice. The instructional strategy that formalizes this situated teaching role is cognitive apprenticeship. Cognitive apprenticeship, as outlined by Collins, Brown, and Newman, is the systematic transfer of expertise, modeling the complex thinking, the cognition, that goes into solving real problems. It uses 4 primary pedagogical techniques. A. Modeling. The master, teacher, performs the target skill while making their usually invisible thought processes visible. This is crucial in cognitive tasks like writing an argumentative essay or designing an engineering solution. The teacher uses think-alouds, saying things like, "Okay, before I even start writing this thesis statement, I'm thinking about my audience, I'm brainstorming counter-arguments, and I'm checking my strongest evidence. I'm going to start with a hook that." By watching the expert think in context, the apprentice gains access to the sophisticated cognitive practices they need to internalize. B. Coaching. As the apprentice begins to perform the task, the master provides targeted feedback, guidance, and reminders. The coaching is specific to the activity at hand, not just a general grade. If a student is struggling with a lab write-up, the coach might prompt, "Remember how Dr. Smith structured the discussion section in our last case study? You need to make sure your evidence clearly backs up your claim right here." This is situated intervention, providing the right support at the precise moment it's needed. C. Scaffolding and fading. Scaffolding involves the master temporarily taking over the parts of the task that are beyond the learner's current capability. The ZPD. This might be providing a template, outlining the major steps, or offering a bank of necessary vocabulary. Crucially, the master then initiates fading, systematically removing the supports as the learner gains competence. This process is key to moving the learner from the periphery to the center of the COP. As the learner successfully masters the practice, the scaffolding disappears, and they become independent. D. Articulation, reflection, and exploration. The final stage focuses on metacognition. Articulation. Students are required to verbalize their knowledge, reasoning, and problem-solving strategies. They must show their work and explain why they made the choices they did. Reflection. Students compare their performance with that of the master or other successful peers. They ask, "What did I do right? Where did I mess up? How could I have done that differently?" Exploration. Students are pushed to generalize and apply their newly acquired skills to novel problems, requiring them to go off script and navigate ambiguous, previously unencountered situations. Cognitive apprenticeship transforms the classroom into a learning laboratory where expertise is transparently shared and purposefully developed. 3. Assessment. Measuring practice, not just recall. If learning is about mastering a practice within a context, then traditional assessment, like timed, multiple-choice tests, is structurally flawed because it measures decontextualized recall. Situated assessment requires a shift toward measuring performance in authentic contexts. Performance-based assessment, PBA, this is the ultimate expression of situated assessment. Instead of a test, students are assessed on how well they perform the actual tasks of the domain. Examples. A history student might be graded on their ability to deliver a well-researched policy brief, the authentic task of a historian or policy analyst. A science student might be graded on their execution of a complex laboratory procedure and the resulting data analysis. Portfolios. Portfolios allow students to collect artifacts of their learning and practice over time, demonstrating their growth within the COPE. It shifts the focus from a single, high-stakes test score to a comprehensive narrative of competence, often including the student's own reflections, articulation, and reflection. Rubrics for practice. Assessment rubrics must focus on observable behaviors and the quality of participation and problem-solving strategies, not just the correctness of the final answer. For instance, a coding rubric might score the efficiency, elegance, and commenting of the code, the practice of a good programmer, rather than just whether the program ran correctly.